What is up, guys, and welcome back to another Destiny video. Today I've got another weapon review for you guys, but this one's gonna be very different from the last one. This is a video that I was second guessing even putting out, to be honest, because it's kind of a trade secret of mine. This weapon is so unexpectedly good. In fact, I've had many people messaging me during matches accusing me of cheating because there's quote-unquote no way I should possibly be able to do so well with this weapon. Now, as you'll see in some of my gameplay footage, I beat out people using the Red Death Pulse Rifle, I beat out people using the Vex Mythoclast, I beat Thorn, I beat Last Word. All of these weapons that are so familiar to see in the Crucible because they are so good in PvP. I beat them out hands down in one-on-one situations. I beat out people using Praetus. I beat out Aphrodite's Spear. This weapon is good mid-range. I have even gotten long-range kills against people sniping across the map with this weapon. It's good on close quarters as well. Come around a corner, you can really light people up. So now it's time for the big reveal. What is this amazing weapon? It's the Suros JPS-32 Uncommon Pulse Rifle. But don't be so quick to judge, because this weapon is much more than meets the eye. Don't worry about the perks, because as an uncommon weapon, it really doesn't have any that make much of a difference. Now let's compare it to the two most popular PvP pulse rifles right now. First off is the Spare Change .25. As you can see, Spare Change absolutely blows it out of the water in attack power, and it has a much higher impact and range. Next up is the Red Death Pulse Rifle. Now again, you can see that the attack power is so much higher, the impact is also boosted. What you need to keep in mind though is that in PvP, attack power does not matter because weapons are leveled. Now I know I said to ignore the perks, but this does actually have a perk that I find incredibly useful in PvP scenarios, and that is missing a shot from this weapon's burst will fire a 4th round. Now, that can come in very handy because so many times in PvP you'll be shooting at somebody and they will be on the tiniest last bit of health, and either they'll get away or they'll kill you first, and that last shot can kill them and be a closer for you. I do know a few people who play Crucible religiously who have gotten to a point where they know how to count shots, and in this situation I've had that last 4th round be in a separate burst from the other 3, so somebody will count my shots and come around the corner and I'll have another burst. Even though it's only one shot, it can be enough. Something that's definitely a big downside of this weapon is that even though it's great for regular Crucible play, when you take away the weapon balancing for things like Trials and Iron Banner, it is utterly useless. I did forget about that to this week, and I tried to play Iron Banner with my Titan after coming off a very good win streak in Crucible, and I had totally forgotten about weapon balancing, and I just got obliterated. I mean, it was doing nothing. I was just tickling my enemies, so I had to switch away from it pretty quick. Now, obviously, this weapon is for PvP because unless you are very low level in PvE, it will also be useless. The only reason I discovered this weapon was because I finally got around to leveling up my Titan this week. The way I leveled him so fast was by playing Control in the Crucible. First I started using a hand cannon because that's what I'm most familiar with for Crucible play, but the hand cannons I had at that low level just were not cutting it for me, so I decided to switch to a pulse rifle. I had remembered that Bungie had recently dropped a major boost to pulse rifles, and I hadn't really liked using them on the legendary level, but I thought, why not use it, why not give it a try, and it turns out I dominated. I got first place in that game as a level 8 Titan against all 33s and 34s, and they were shocked. This just goes to show that Bungie has actually put in quite a bit of effort into making sure that the Crucible can be enjoyable for all levels of players, even if you're just starting out. They supply you with certain weapons, even though they may be hard to find, that are just as good or even better at these low levels. This means that if you had no interest in playing in Iron Banner or Trials of Osiris, but you were primarily a Crucible player, you would never have to level up your characters because you could use your gear that you already have at the low level. You can even use common weapons in the Crucible and still wreck. You just have to know what you're looking for. Now I'm hoping that this will not be another Kvostov situation where Bungie sees that a lot of people start using a really easy to get weapon and doing super well with it, and then they end up patching it and making it utterly useless. As usual, I'm just gonna let the rest of my gameplay roll on. I have some pretty good moments in here, so feel free to stick around for those. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Feel free to like, favorite, and subscribe. Go ahead and share this video with everybody. I really appreciate it. It really helps me out a lot. Thank you so much again, and I will see you next time.
Zone C secure. You captured Zone A. Zone C locked. Enemy captured Zone C.